Goes up, right? You ever see people walking around? You don't see people dragging the balloon, right? It goes up, right? What are you doing here? We're gonna finish this. Oh no, alright, so walking around, right? Sometimes it gets away, right? It goes up into the air, it kinda looks cool, right? Then what happens? It pops. You know how it pops or why? So it goes up, right? The air here is pretty thick, but as you get higher in the atmosphere, it gets thin. So for a balloon, the balloon says, oh man, there's less air, I can expand. So it keeps expanding, gets bigger, and then ultimately, it gets high enough, it explodes. And then when it explodes, it falls back to Earth, and if it gets in the ocean or the waterways, it looks like this. Now what does this look like in the ocean? Like a sea wall to you, but to someone who doesn't have maybe the greatest eyesight, like a turtle who eats sea jellies, or jellyfish, it looks like food, right? Floating there. Oh, I'm gonna get a free meal. Eats it, and then what happens? Is it food? No. Right? So they can choke or they can eat it, and then it sits in your stomach, right? And you're trying to digest it. You're like, oh man.
Can I ask you a question? Did that become like that in there after sitting in the water so long?
No, it became like that because we found it and we put it in.
Oh, let me see it. Oh, so I thought, okay, so like,
So this is what I explained to them. It's like when you put helium in the balloon, it goes up, right? It's lighter than air.
Oh.
But you lose it and it goes into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, the balloon is going to get bigger and bigger because there's less density, air density around it. So it explodes, yeah.
Oh, it explodes.
And so that's
and then it lands in the water.
Yeah, so when a balloon explodes, it looks like that.
And then in the water, this is what it looks like, and it does look like a sea jelly.
Yeah. So if you ever gone to the aquarium of the Pacific, or you ever go to any aquarium and look at their jellies, they look like they're just floating with their tentacles. And like when you don't have good eyesight,
which they don't, they eat it and then they become.
Yeah, and they don't know.
And it doesn't digest, does it?
No. So for them, they'll just sit and they get this false sense of fullness. And then they ultimately could stop.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
So what do you guys like about Earth Day?
Well, in Earth Day, I go to the beach and clean up the beach.
Oh, you do? Oh, that's wonderful.
Well, I go to the mountains.
Sweet.
And just camp over there and just feed animals.
All right. That's important. But where do you spend most of your time throughout the year? Here, right? School. So this is what we try to tell people is like taking care of your environment, your neighborhood, your school here is just as important as taking care of it at the beach.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
So, and that's great because our word last month was volunteer.
Yes.
And they loved it for some reason. Scholars loved it. So we're going to keep doing this. And you guys can find all kind of, places. The garden. Matter of fact, Mr. Bird is looking for some helpers. Would you guys like to help clean up?
Yeah.
Here? Because we got all kinds of fence area by the fence line. We need strong, young strapping men.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys ready? Or are you guys from Testing?
Well, we're
Okay. Well, why don't you thank him for showing you?
Yeah, hey, man. Thanks for rolling by, man. Pleasure. Hey, take care of yourselves. All right.
Okay, so go put your books back and then go out there and find